Listen carefully, because this is not about them. It's about you. Toxic people feed off your reaction. They thrive on your energy. The more you argue, the more you explain, the more you try to prove yourself, the stronger they get. Stop feeding the poison. Your silence will suffocate what your words can never kill. Boundaries are not optional. They are mandatory. Stop feeling guilty for protecting your space. You owe no one unlimited access to you. The moment you start drawing the line, you take back control. Distance is not weakness. Distance is discipline. It's the decision that says, I will not let your chaos become my normal. Understand this, every ounce of energy you give to toxic people is an ounce stolen from your dreams, your goals, your growth. Energy is currency. Don't spend it on poison. Invest it in yourself. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Sometimes the strongest move you'll ever make is no longer standing where you don't belong. The greatest revenge is not proving them wrong. The greatest revenge is living free, living unbothered, and living so focused that their existence becomes irrelevant. Remember this, your peace is your ultimate weapon. Protect it with everything you have. Because once you master your response, no toxic person can control you. They lose. You win. Now ask yourself, are you going to keep reacting to their chaos, or are you finally ready to rise above it? That is the truth most people don't want to accept, because the instinct is always to fight back, to defend yourself, to prove a point. But that's the trap. That's the exact place toxic people want you. They want you on the defensive. They want you in chaos. They want you drained. They live off your reaction. The moment you give it to them, you hand them the power. Control is not about changing them. You will never change them. You will never fix them. You will never make them see your worth. You can scream, you can cry, you can argue, and they will still twist it against you. That's what toxic people do. They distort, they manipulate, they poison. So stop wasting your breath on battles that cannot be won. Your strength is not in controlling them. Your strength is in controlling you. Control your face, control your tone, control your silence, control your choices. That is where your power is. That is where your freedom is. Think about it. Every second you react emotionally to them, you step into their game. They set the rules. They control the board. But the second you master yourself, you flip the game. Because now they have nothing to feed on. They can't use your reaction. They can't twist your words. They can't manipulate your emotions. You become untouchable. Toxic people hate silence. They hate boundaries. They hate distance. Because it starves them. It leaves them powerless. They throw insults. They push buttons. They test limits. And when you don't react, when you don't give them what they're looking for, they collapse, they wither, they disappear. This is not weakness. This is not cowardice. This is strength at the highest level. Anyone can scream back. Anyone can argue. But not everyone can master themselves. Not everyone can stay calm in the face of chaos. That is what separates the strong from the weak. The strong choose control. The strong choose peace. The strong choose to walk away without looking back. And understand this clearly. Walking away is not losing. Walking away is winning. Because when you step back, you reclaim your energy, you reclaim your time, you reclaim your life. You stop letting their poison dictate your emotions. You stop letting their behavior decide your day. You stop letting their drama live rent-free in your mind. You cannot afford to keep paying attention to people who only drain you. Your energy is your currency. It's the most valuable thing you own. Where you invest it determines your future. Waste it on toxic people and you end up broke, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Protect it. Guard it like your life depends on it, because it does. Respect yourself enough to draw the line. Respect yourself enough to walk away. You owe no one unlimited access to your peace. You don't need to justify, explain, or defend your boundaries. You simply enforce them. Quietly, consistently, unapologetically. That is what power looks like. Some people will call you cold. Some will call you heartless. Some will call you arrogant. Let them. That's just noise. Because the same people who call you those names are the same people who once thrived off your weakness. They're angry because you stopped being their victim. And that anger, that's proof you've already won. The greatest revenge is not shouting louder. It's not proving them wrong. It's not lowering yourself to their level. The greatest revenge is silence. It's indifference. It's living unbothered. It's thriving in peace while they drown in the chaos they created for themselves. And here's the truth. Toxic people don't destroy you. You destroy yourself by staying, by engaging, by reacting, by giving them endless chances to poison your life. The moment you decide enough, everything changes. You don't need closure. You don't need an apology. You don't need their approval. You only need one thing, the discipline to walk away and never look back. So remember this, you don't control toxic people. You control your response. You control your silence. You control your energy. You control your peace. And when you master those things, no toxic person on this earth can touch you. They lose the moment you decide not to play. You win the moment you decide to rise. Stand tall. Guard your peace. Walk away without hesitation. And never forget, your silence is louder than their noise. Most people think strength is found in shouting back, clapping back, proving a point. They think the louder they respond, the more powerful they appear. But the truth? Power lives in silence. Silence is unshakable. Silence is untouchable. Silence cannot be twisted, cannot be used, cannot be broken. Silence forces the other side to confront themselves while you stand tall, unmoved, unbothered. Reaction is easy. Anyone can react, anyone can yell, anyone can argue. But silence? That requires discipline. That requires control. That requires a mastery of self that most people will never achieve. Reaction gives them exactly what they want. Your energy, your emotion, your focus. Silence takes it all away. Silence starves them. Silence is the refusal to play their game. Think about it. Toxic people thrive on reaction. They poke, they insult, they provoke, they manipulate because they want to see you break. They want to see you lose control. The moment you explode, they win. They twist your words, they feed on your emotion, they use your anger as fuel. But when you give them nothing, when you give them silence, you strip them of everything they crave. You leave them powerless. Silence does not mean weakness. It does not mean fear. It does not mean surrender. Silence means you are above it. Silence means you are untouchable. Silence means their chaos does not reach your soul. You stand steady while they drown in their own noise. That is strength. That is dominance. That is control. Understand this. Silence is not empty. Silence is full of meaning. It's a message stronger than any words. Silence says, you are not worth my energy. Silence says, you cannot shake me. Silence says, I choose peace over your chaos. And that silence cuts deeper than any insult, deeper than any argument, because it shows them the truth. They have no power over you. When you react, you hand them control. When you stay silent, you take it back. That is the difference. That is the shift. Power is not in matching their volume. Power is in refusing to acknowledge it. And here's what you need to realize. Silence protects your energy. Every reaction costs you something. It costs you peace. It costs you focus. It costs you time you'll never get back. Silence saves it. Silence keeps your energy where it belongs, on your goals, on your growth, on your future. Reaction is a distraction. Silence is discipline. Some will say, but silence makes you look weak. No, silence makes you look untouchable. Weakness is losing control of yourself. Weakness is letting someone else dictate your emotions. Strength is being so in control of yourself that no one can pull you out of your calm. That's what true power looks like. And here's the truth. Silence does not mean you don't see what's happening. It doesn't mean you accept disrespect. It means you refuse to waste energy on proving yourself to people who will never understand your value. It means you choose action over reaction. You let your results, your progress, your life speak louder than any argument ever could. The strongest people in this world are not the loudest. They are the most composed. They are the ones who keep their focus sharp while others are busy reacting. They are the ones who move in silence and let their success make the noise. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember, reaction is their trap. Silence is your weapon. Hold it. Wield it. Own it. Because silence is not passive. Silence is decisive. Silence is the refusal to give them power. And when you master silence, you master yourself. Let them talk. Let them throw their words. Let them try to break you. But give them nothing. Show them nothing. Because the most painful thing for someone who craves attention, who craves reaction, who craves control, is to realize they have no effect on you. Silence is stronger than reaction because silence is control. Silence is discipline. Silence is peace. And peace is power. The world doesn't need more people who react. It needs people who rise, people who choose silence over chaos, people who protect their energy, their mind, their soul. That's how you win. That's how you dominate. That's how you rise above everything meant to destroy you. So stand firm, stand calm, stand silent. Because silence is not weakness. Silence is the loudest form of strength. People will try to convince you otherwise. They'll tell you that setting limits makes you selfish. They'll say you're cold, arrogant, or hard to deal with. But pay attention. The ones who complain about your boundaries are always the ones who benefited from you not having any. They loved when you said yes to everything. They loved when you bent over backwards. They loved when you sacrificed your peace just to keep them comfortable. And now, the moment you draw a line, they call it weakness. No, that is not weakness. That is strength. Boundaries are power because they tell the world, this is where I end and you begin. This is my space. This is my peace. This is my standard. And you do not cross it. That is not selfish. That is survival. That is self-respect. Weak people can't set boundaries. Weak people say yes to everything, even when it destroys them. Weak people let everyone have access to their time, their energy, their emotions, until there's nothing left. But strong people know their worth. Strong people guard their peace like their life depends on it, because it does. Every time you set a boundary, you take back control. You decide who gets to walk into your life and how far they get to go. You decide how people treat you. You decide how much access they get to your energy. And here's the truth. The people who respect you will honor your boundaries. The ones who don't, they were never for you in the first place. A boundary is not a wall. A wall keeps everyone out. A boundary lets the right people in and keeps the wrong people out. Boundaries filter. They protect. They create space for real connection, real love, real respect. Because without boundaries, there is no respect. Understand this clearly. Boundaries don't push people away. Boundaries reveal who should not have been close in the first place. When someone gets angry because you said no, they just exposed themselves. When someone gets offended because you set a limit, they just showed you they only valued what they could take from you. Boundaries don't break relationships, they expose them. And the cost of living without boundaries is destruction. You become exhausted. You become resentful. You become drained. You stop recognizing yourself because you've given every piece of yourself away to people who didn't deserve it. That is what happens when you live without boundaries. So no, boundaries are not weakness. Boundaries are courage. It takes courage to say no. It takes courage to risk being misunderstood. It takes courage to stand firm when people push back. But that courage builds power. Because the more you enforce your boundaries, the stronger you become. When you set boundaries, you're not just protecting yourself. You're training others on how to treat you. You're teaching them what's acceptable and what's not. And if they can't handle that, let them go. Because keeping people who disrespect your boundaries is far more dangerous than losing them. Boundaries are not cruelty. Boundaries are clarity. They say, I will not tolerate disrespect. I will not allow you to drain my energy. I will not sacrifice my peace just to keep you comfortable. That's not cruelty. That's truth. And people who can't handle truth will always label it as harsh. Let them. The strongest people in the world are not the ones who never bend. They are the ones who know exactly when to bend and exactly when to stand unshakable. They are the ones who know their limits and enforce them without apology. They are the ones who protect their peace as fiercely as a lion protects its territory. That is what real strength looks like. So let this sink in. Every time you set a boundary, you rise. Every time you say no when your peace is on the line, you win. Every time you walk away from someone who refuses to respect your limits, you step into greater strength. Boundaries are not weakness, they are power, they are protection, they are freedom, and the ones who respect you will stay. The ones who don't, they'll leave, and that's exactly how it should be. Because you don't need everyone. You don't need approval. You don't need validation. What you need is peace. What you need is respect. What you need is to stand so firm in your boundaries that nothing and no one can move you. So remember this. Boundaries are not selfish. They are survival. They are not weakness. They are power. And when you learn to stand by them without apology, you become unstoppable. The weak will tell you otherwise. They'll whisper that walking away means you're scared. They'll mock you for choosing silence over confrontation. They'll call you cold for refusing to entertain their chaos. But listen carefully. Distance is not running. Distance is not fear. Distance is control. Distance is the highest form of self-discipline because it takes strength to step back when every part of you wants to strike back. Anyone can stay and fight. Anyone can scream, argue, and trade insults. That's easy. That's the reaction toxic people crave. But it takes real strength to look at a situation and say, this is not worth my peace. This is not worth my energy. This is not worth my future. That choice, the choice to step away, is not cowardice. It is mastery. Distance is the moment you realize not every battle deserves your presence. Not every insult deserves your reply. Not every person deserves access to your life. When you walk away, you are not showing fear. You are showing wisdom. You are proving that your energy is too valuable to be wasted on chaos. Think of it this way. Your energy is currency. Every argument, every reaction, every fight is a withdrawal. If you stay in battles that do not matter, you go broke. But when you choose distance, you protect your wealth. You invest your energy where it matters, in your goals, your growth, your future. That's discipline. That's strength. Distance also gives clarity. When you're too close to the storm, you can't see clearly. You get lost in the noise, the drama, the heat of the moment, but when you step back, everything becomes visible. You see the truth of who people really are. You see what's worth holding on to and what needs to be released. Distance sharpens your vision, and vision is power. People will accuse you of being heartless when you create space, but understand, the ones who accuse you are usually the ones who thrived when you had no boundaries. They loved when you tolerated their disrespect. They loved when you kept giving while they kept taking. And now, when you pull back, they panic. They try to shame you into coming back. Don't fall for it. Their anger is proof that your distance is working. Discipline is not about always doing more. Discipline is about knowing when to stop, knowing when to detach, knowing when to remove yourself before you are destroyed. Distance is that form of discipline. It's the wisdom to protect your mind, your peace, and your future. Some people think staying shows courage, but sometimes staying is the easiest thing to do. Walking away, that takes guts, that takes strength. Because walking away means you choose yourself. It means you put your peace above their approval. It means you protect your future instead of drowning in their chaos. That is not cowardice, that is self-respect. Distance is also the greatest test of power. Because when you stay silent, when you refuse to engage, when you remove yourself, you deny them what they crave most, your reaction. Toxic people live off attention. They feed on your energy. They thrive when they know they can control your emotions. But when you choose distance, you cut the supply. You starve them. And nothing terrifies a toxic person more than realizing they no longer have access to you. Understand this: distance is not a wall. It's a filter. It separates the ones who value you from the ones who only use you. The people meant for you will respect your space. They'll understand your silence. They'll honor your boundaries. The wrong ones, they'll fall away the moment you stop giving them constant access. And that's the beauty of distance. It reveals who truly belongs in your life. So no, distance is not cowardice. It is the highest form of strength. It is saying, I will not waste myself on what doesn't deserve me. It is saying, I value my peace more than your drama. It is saying, I choose discipline over destruction. That is not weakness. That is power. Remember this the next time someone tries to drag you into chaos. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to answer every insult. You don't have to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Sometimes the strongest move is no move at all. Sometimes the greatest courage is quiet distance. Distance is discipline. Distance is control. Distance is freedom. And freedom is the ultimate victory. So protect your peace. Guard your energy. Walk away when you must. Because distance is not running from the battle. Distance is choosing only battles worth fighting. And that choice makes you stronger than they will ever understand. Every single day you wake up with a limited supply. A balance in the account. That energy is your wealth. Where you put it determines what your life becomes. But most people, they spend it recklessly. They hand it out to arguments that don't matter. They waste it on people who drain them. They burn it on battles that lead nowhere. And when the day ends, they wonder why they feel bankrupt, empty, exhausted. It's simple. They invested their energy into poison. Understand this: your energy creates your future. If you put it into growth, you grow. If you put it into chaos, you decay. If you put it into people who inspire, you rise. If you put it into people who drain, you sink. Energy never lies. Where you spend it shows you exactly where you're headed. Poison is everywhere. Toxic people, toxic conversations, toxic habits, toxic environments. They all have one thing in common. They drain you. They pull life out of you and give nothing back. And the more you give to them, the weaker you become. That's how poison works. It doesn't kill you instantly. It kills you slowly, drip by drip, until you no longer recognize yourself. Energy is currency. You cannot afford to keep handing it to poison. You cannot afford to keep paying attention to people who will never respect you. You cannot afford to keep feeding relationships that only starve you. Your energy must be protected the way the rich protect their money, carefully, strategically, with discipline. Think about it. When someone insults you and you argue back, you pay them. When someone disrespects you and you obsess over it, you pay them. When someone tries to provoke you and you give them your reaction, you pay them. Every time you engage with poison, you spend. But here's the problem. They don't deserve your currency. They haven't earned it. And every dollar, every ounce of energy wasted on them is stolen from your goals, your peace, your future. Start thinking like this. If my energy is wealth, who deserves to be rich because of me? Who deserves my focus, my effort, my time? Certainly not those who bring negativity. Certainly not those who disrespect me. Certainly not those who thrive on my reaction. They get nothing. Because my energy is too valuable to be thrown into their poison. Protect your energy like your life depends on it, because it does. The strongest people are not the ones who fight every battle. They are the ones who know what to walk away from. They are the ones who invest their energy wisely. They are the ones who pour their strength into building, not into arguing, into creating, not into destroying, into becoming, not into reacting. That is how you win. Ask yourself this: how much of your life have you already given to poison? How many hours wasted in meaningless fights? How many nights lost replaying toxic conversations? How many dreams delayed because you were too drained by people who gave nothing back? That is the price of wasting energy on poison, and you cannot afford to keep paying it. The richest life belongs to those who guard their energy. They are selective. They know who to engage with and who to ignore. They know when to stay and when to walk away. They don't hand their peace over to chaos. They don't give their emotions to manipulators. They don't waste their time proving themselves to people committed to misunderstanding them. They keep their energy. And because of that, they grow. Energy is currency. Treat it as such. Spend it on growth, spend it on discipline, spend it on silence, spend it on your craft, your health, your future. Spend it on people who inspire, not those who drain. Spend it on building the life you want, not reacting to people who want to destroy it. Poison will always be there. It will always try to reach you. But you don't have to drink it. You don't have to engage. You don't have to pay it with your energy. You have a choice to waste or to invest, to decay or to grow, to give your power to poison or to keep it for yourself. So remember this: your energy is not free, it is not unlimited, it is not cheap, it is wealth, it is life, it is power. And the second you start treating it like currency, you'll stop wasting it on poison. Guard it, protect it, invest it wisely, because your future depends on how you spend it. That single decision will save you years of pain, endless arguments, and a lifetime of wasted energy. Too many people stay where they don't belong. They stay in relationships that drain them. They stay in friendships that disrespect them. They stay in environments that slowly destroy them, all because they fear what will happen if they leave. But hear me now, the cost of staying will always be higher than the cost of walking away. Walking away is not weakness. Walking away is the ultimate form of self-respect. It says, I value my peace more than your chaos. I value my worth more than your disrespect. I value my future more than this present that's killing me. That's not cowardice. That's courage. It takes courage to step away from what is familiar. It takes courage to detach from people you once loved. It takes courage to walk alone rather than stay surrounded by poison. When you walk away, you send a message, not to them but to yourself. You prove to yourself that you are not desperate. You prove that you don't need to beg for love. You prove that your worth is not up for negotiation. That kind of respect builds strength that no one can take from you. Here's the truth. People will treat you how you allow them to treat you. If you stay where you are disrespected, you teach them that disrespect is acceptable. If you stay where you are ignored, you teach them that your presence has no value. If you stay where you are unloved, you teach them that you'll tolerate crumbs. But the moment you walk away, you change the lesson. You teach them that you will not accept less than what you deserve. And whether they change or not, you win, because you chose yourself. Walking away doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you stop loving. It doesn't mean you erase the memories. It simply means you stop betraying yourself. You stop lowering your standards. You stop sacrificing your peace just to keep someone else comfortable. That is not love. That is self-destruction. And the moment you decide you are done destroying yourself for others, your life begins to transform. Respect yourself enough to walk away from arguments that lead nowhere, from people who refuse to grow, from environments that kill your spirit, from anyone who makes you question your worth. Because if you don't, you will spend your life chained to misery, and no one is coming to set you free. That choice is yours. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it feels heavy to walk away from what you once thought you needed. But nothing is heavier than staying somewhere your soul doesn't belong. Nothing is harder than slowly dying inside while pretending everything is fine. Nothing is more painful than realizing years later that you wasted your life on people and places that never deserved you. Walking away is not about losing them. Walking away is about finding you. It's about rediscovering your power. It's about building a life that matches your worth. It's about surrounding yourself with people who see your value instead of questioning it. And the moment you do, everything begins to shift. You gain clarity, you gain strength, you gain freedom. So respect yourself enough to walk away when something is breaking you. Respect yourself enough to walk away when someone refuses to change. Respect yourself enough to walk away when staying means betraying yourself. Because your life is too valuable to waste in places that don't honor it. And don't misunderstand, walking away doesn't always mean forever. Sometimes distance is the only way people learn to value you. Sometimes silence is the only way people recognize your worth. Sometimes absence is the only thing that makes them see what they lost. But whether they change or not doesn't matter. What matters is that you respected yourself enough to leave when it was destroying you. At the end of the day, respect is not something you beg for. Respect is something you demand through your actions. And nothing demands respect louder than walking away from anything that refuses to honor you. So remember this, staying where you are disrespected is not loyalty, it's weakness. But walking away, that is strength. That is self-respect. That is power. And once you master that, you become unstoppable. Respect yourself enough to walk away. Even if it hurts, even if it's lonely, even if you don't know what comes next. Because what comes next will always be greater than what you left behind. The greatest revenge is living unbothered. When you carry yourself with calm, with peace, and with self-control, you win a battle that most people never will. Toxic people feed on reaction. They thrive on your anger. They want your attention because it validates their power over you. But when you refuse to give them that satisfaction, you strip them of their control. You become untouchable. The moment you stop responding, they lose the grip they thought they had on you. That is the power of living unbothered. Revenge isn't always about fighting back. It's not about proving them wrong with words or actions fueled by rage. True revenge is refusing to let them disturb your peace. It's showing them, without ever having to speak, that they have no place in your mind or in your life. Your silence, your focus, your calm composure, that's what cuts deeper than any insult or argument ever could. Living unbothered is not weakness. It is not ignorance. It is strength in its purest form. Because anyone can yell, anyone can argue, anyone can be dragged into chaos, but it takes a strong, disciplined, self-respecting person to stand tall, stay calm, and keep moving forward, no matter how much noise surrounds them. When you master this, you rise above the chaos. You stand at a level they cannot reach. Toxic people crave drama. They want you to defend yourself. They want you to fight back. They want to see you shaken, emotional, and consumed by them. But when you remain unbothered, when you live as though their existence has no impact on you, you starve them. You deny them the chaos they feed on, and eventually they break. Because nothing is more painful to a toxic person than realizing they don't matter to you. This way of living is not easy. It requires discipline. It requires self-respect. It requires that you value your energy and your peace above every attempt to drag you down. And here's the truth. Your peace is priceless. Your calm is your armor. Every time you choose not to react, not to give in, you are strengthening your control. You are building yourself into someone they cannot manipulate, someone they cannot disturb, someone they cannot destroy. The greatest revenge is living unbothered because it flips the power dynamic. Instead of reacting to them, you train them to react to your silence. Instead of proving yourself to them, you prove to yourself that they don't deserve a single drop of your energy. Instead of lowering yourself to their level, you rise higher, and you stay there. Your success becomes your response. Your calm becomes your answer. Your growth becomes your statement. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to prove anything. You just live. You just keep moving. You just keep thriving. And the more you rise, the smaller they become. Let them gossip. Let them hate. Let them try to provoke. It doesn't matter. Because when you live unbothered, you are untouchable. They can scream. They can scheme. They can attack. But they cannot shake you. They cannot control you. They cannot stop you. That is the ultimate victory. So, stop seeking revenge through reaction. Stop wasting your energy trying to hurt them back. Stop lowering yourself just to match their toxicity. Instead, take the higher road. Choose calm, choose silence, choose peace, because nothing kills a toxic person faster than knowing they have no control over you. Nothing destroys them more than seeing you live happily, freely, and successfully without them. The greatest revenge is not a fight. It's not an argument. It's not proving them wrong. The greatest revenge is living unbothered, at peace, and unstoppable. When you master this, you don't just win over them. You win over yourself. And that is the strongest victory you will ever have. Your peace is your ultimate weapon. Not your anger, not your noise, not your desperate attempts to prove a point. Peace, the kind of peace that cannot be shaken, cannot be bought, and cannot be stolen. When you master peace, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, no toxic person has power over you. Toxic people thrive on chaos. They want a reaction. They want to pull you into their storm so they can watch you drown. They feed on drama, on conflict, on emotional warfare. But what happens when you don't bite? What happens when you stay calm, collected, unshaken? They starve. They lose power. They cannot manipulate a person who has chosen peace over participation. Peace is not passive. Peace is active strength. It's a choice to not let anyone dictate how you feel inside. Most people believe fighting back proves strength, but the truth, real strength is found in restraint. The one who controls their emotions controls the battlefield. The one who remains still when others rage has already won. Think about this. The world is full of people who will try to drag you into their negativity. Some will insult you. Some will gossip. Some will disrespect you. Some will try to provoke you. But if your peace is solid, their attempts bounce off you like arrows against armor. Because peace is not silence of the outside world. It is silence inside your soul. It's the refusal to allow poison to live rent-free in your mind. When you argue with toxic people, you give them your energy. When you defend yourself against lies, you hand them your time. When you shout back, you hand them your control. But when you stand calm, when you walk away, when you protect your peace, you are telling them, I am untouchable. You don't need their approval. You don't need to win an argument. You don't need to prove who you are. You already know. And that knowing is your shield. Your peace is more powerful than revenge. Your peace is louder than shouting. Your peace is more destructive to a toxic person than any words you could throw at them. Because they expect you to fight. They expect you to collapse. They expect you to lose control. But when you remain calm, they face a truth they cannot accept. They do not control you. Understand this. Protecting your peace is not selfish. It is survival. You cannot grow in chaos. You cannot heal in noise. You cannot build strength in constant war. Peace creates clarity. Peace creates focus. Peace allows you to rise above the nonsense and channel your energy into what matters, your goals, your growth, your future. Walking away is not weakness. Silence is not weakness. Refusing to engage is not weakness. It is power. It is the highest form of discipline. It means you are no longer letting toxic people write your story. You are the author now. And the chapters ahead will be filled with progress, not poison. Remember this every time someone tries to disturb your spirit. The one who keeps peace is always in control. The one who stays calm when others lose themselves is always ahead. Peace is not for them. It is for you. Protect it. Guard it. Choose it every time, because in the end, the greatest victory you can ever achieve over toxicity, over disrespect, over hatred, is to live unbothered, unshaken, unstoppable. That is what true power looks like. That is what real strength feels like. Your peace is not just your protection. Your peace is your ultimate weapon. Use it. And so remember this. Your peace is not weakness. Your peace is not surrender. Your peace is the highest form of strength. Anyone can shout, anyone can fight, anyone can lose control, but only the powerful can remain calm in the middle of the storm. When you refuse to be dragged into chaos, you show the world and yourself that you cannot be broken. You cannot